Hello, everyone. Welcome to Highly Intelligent. I'm joined by a very special guest today. This is Bart. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Bart, aka Beard. I'm beatboxing for about 16 years now. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, where are you from?
So I'm from the Netherlands. I'm from a very small village close to Germany.
I see. So, where did it begin with all your beatboxing?
It started when I saw a video of Daishi. You might know Daishi, the Japanese beatboxer. Very old school videos. A video where he made a wildcard video for a competition, and it basically went like, "My name is Dash. I like to beat the box, but to what gut?" And he went like. I saw that video and I was mesmerized, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Dang. Yeah, I mean, definitely. So, when you saw that video, what did that just inspire you to start making your own wild cards, or did you just pick it up from there, start making some sounds?
Before that video, I don't think I knew what beatbox even was. I saw that video and I was like, I didn't even know that was possible with the human voice.
Oh,
And
okay.
before that, there were other guys that inspired me. Like there's this Dutch comedian, and he uses just like the you have an American one too, the Mexican guy. He also uses like beatbox sounds incorporation. Iglesias, the guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we have a Dutch guy who does that a similar thing, and I was already very inspired by what he did. He enhanced the stories by using beatbox and sounds and accents, and I already thought that was crazy. But then I saw this video, and this was the first time I saw what beatbox was. And after this video, I remember I would just repeat the video over and over for months until I could do a little bit of what he did. And yeah, afterwards I saw that there was a community within the Netherlands, and I started going to these yeah, get-togethers, meetings, and from there I started battling and making wildcards.
Nice. So do you full-time beatbox now?
Yes, I'm a full-time beatboxer now. I'm doing theater now. I teach a lot, so I'm doing. I go through different schools in the Netherlands, and I teach beatbox. And that's the main thing I do. Those two things. So it's a theater and also a lot of teaching kids.
So where did the shift come from working a day job to full-time beatboxing?
Well, it's funny actually. I was studying during COVID times, and during that time, like it was I just couldn't focus on school anymore. It's like being like alone in a room, like studying from afar is just not something I can do. So like I quit the study, and I didn't get much income that time at all from beatbox. So it was kind of like a leap of faith. And because all the schools were also closed, all the work that I had was like school workshops. So during COVID, there was just like no income, and I stopped school. So it was like there's not much happening, no performances as well, because everything was closed. Nobody could get together. And but yeah, it slowly COVID started to go away, and schools opened up again, and I could perform again.
Solid. So when you what was your introduction to the battling scene?
Mm, that's also a funny one. Do you know Ibarra by any chance?
I don't, but I believe I've heard the name.
Ibarra is like yeah, it was like he was the captain of the Dutch team. We had this big battle in France. It was called Le Coupe in 2013. It was the craziest thing ever. Like if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's basically, if you don't know it, it's and for the people at home, it's like this big battle where teams, like four of the best beatboxers from every single country, like from 8 countries, get together. They randomly beatbox each other as a solo. And they get, like, from every judge that was sitting there, I think it was 5, they get 3 points for every vote they get. And then they did a team battle, so 4 against 4, and for every judge was worth 5 points for the team thing. So that was these really big battles, and Ibar was team captain. And yeah, he saw me beatbox once at a meeting, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, because I was practicing his beats all the time, so I could like copy him." So we did like a beatbox game, and he was like, "Damn, he knows all my beats." And from there, he chose me to go with him to France to this battle, and this is one of the first battles I did. I think I did 2 practice battles, one in the Netherlands, one in Belgium, and then we went to this competition.
I see. So after you did that competition, I know that you're the Vice World Champion. Where did it go from that first competition to being the champion?
Ooh, I battled a lot. I fell in love with battling really early on, and it's funny. I was the most. I was super nervous to go on stage, like to the point that I would almost puke when I went on stage. Like there was a couple of battles when I was very small. Or very small. I was like 15, 16 that you could see like I could barely do the 90 seconds. And it frustrated me so much that I was practicing so hard to do beats that I couldn't perform live on stage. So at one point, there came this point that I was like, I'm not going to practice anymore because it makes no sense for me to practice because I can never perform the beats that I want. And then I started to have more fun on stage. And actually, when I let loose of that a little bit, I won my first, or not my first, but like my first big battle, which was a vocal total battle in Austria. And from then it became more fun, and I did so many battles. I just went all over Europe to wherever there was a battle, I would compete. I think I might have done the most battles out of everyone, I think, still.
I mean, you've definitely got way more routines than most beatboxers. Like in the past few years, you've just been cranking them out like nonstop.
Mm.
So, what was there any particular sound when you first started that like evolved your beatboxing exponentially?
Yeah. I think it's a sound, and it's not my sound. A lot of people think I made it up. It's not true. It's from Supernova. He's known from middle school now. That's his most. Supernova, together with Footbox G. And Supernova, he made these crazy transitions. And when I heard that the first time, I loved the sound of going from one sound really cleanly to another sound. So like he did like he did stuff like that, like I cannot do it, or like boom. And I saw that, and I got really inspired to do to combine these sounds and make these crazy textures. So that's something that I think skyrocketed my style.
So, in 3 sounds, how would you describe your beatbox style?
I think it's already 3 sounds, right? Or I think those 2 or 3 sounds. Yeah.
I see. So, you became the Dutch champion before you became the vice champion, right? What did it take to be the Dutch champion?
I lost 1 year in 2013 against Hurricane the Soundstorm, and I took it the year after, and won it 3 times in total now, in 2014, 16, and 18.
Solid.
Yeah.
So, what's something you didn't know about battling until you had been on stage and battled a couple times?
Ooh. The importance of power. I remember especially the first time I went on stage, I thought like I was super cocky. When I started beatboxing, I thought I was already the best ever. And I didn't battle. I hadn't done any battles at all. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna beat anyone from the Dutch scene. So I went onto this battle, and they put me against what I thought was the worst guy there, so the least skilled guy, and we had to battle. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy, and I lost so hard against what I thought was the worst guy there. So that was really humbling, because he was so much more powerful and he was so much more steady. So it's like a lot of mic technique. I started practicing mic technique a lot.
I see. So, When do you think you'll go back and claim the world champion title, or are you satisfied with vice champion?
That's a hard question for me to answer right now. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna go to the next world championship. Maybe I'll go to the one after that. I think I'm focusing now on different things. I want to make more music, like focus more on performing and making shows and the more commercial side of things. And maybe I'll get back to battling. Maybe even more loop station because I think that's more fun for me, anyways. Because it's like without so much of the uh, um, yeah, I don't have to live up to something, because it feels like I have to live up to
Yeah,
something that I did years ago, and yeah, I've been focusing on other things now, so maybe some more loop station, but maybe in a couple of years, yeah.
I see. Have you judged any battles?
Yeah, a lot, a lot. I did the American champs in 2014. I did a local battle in Canada. I judged a battle in Russia, in Ukraine, in China, Japan, Hong Kong, all over Europe. Yeah.
So when you're judging, uh, what's something that you do? Like, say you hear two crazy beatboxers, and it's really hard to differentiate which one took the battle. How would you break that down and decide who won the battle?
Like if they're really like what's the situation? So
Yeah,
like
like
someone is like when battles are the most close are because when they're both good at one point and that's their strong point, it's usually pretty easy. Okay, that guy kind of has the upper hand, but it's usually the closest battles for a judge to battle are when one of them is really original but a little bit sloppy and the other one is kind of predictable and boring but he's like really steady and on the point. Those are the most difficult ones to judge because like then you have to see where do you draw the line, like how important is originality, how important is being on time and on point. So sometimes those are really difficult and then you want to see an extra round in some cases.
I see. What do you personally enjoy listening to in terms of beatbox techniques?
Ooh, I started to gradually move more to a more musical. I like the musical compositions a little bit more, just really hard drops that just work. Yeah.
I see. So, do you have a favorite battle you've been in?
Like where I battled,
Yes.
a couple of my favorites are MB14 versus myself at the GBB, the Grand Beatbox Battle. That one was really fun. Also because MB14 is such a sweet guy. He's like he's not like he didn't take it as a battle, so he was just like enjoying himself. He was like, I'm here for probably this round only. If I make it, I'll make it. But he was just hyping up the crowd for me, which let my battle guard down too. So we were both like hyping each other up. So that was yeah,
Solid.
that's a fun one.
So, when you were on stage, what do you do to mentally prepare yourself to get through the routine and do it clean?
Like just before the battle.
Yeah, like obviously you practice a routine and you get it down, but like being on stage is a different story because you don't have that setting of being at home and practicing on like your own mic and stuff.
Yeah.
So what do you do to prepare yourself for going on stage with unpredictable circumstances?
Yeah, what I try to do is talk like just say things that work to myself. Just like it doesn't matter if they're true. It's just like things like I already won the battle. The judges have to just like listen to the routine and then they'll make their mind up. Or I already won. These kind of things that kind of like take down some of the tension.
Yeah. So is there anyone that you felt really contested by? Like you thought it was a really hard battle to get through?
Yeah, my battle against Alem was really crazy. Also because the crowd was like the feeling that I had was it was 60 or 70% French. And like
I
that
see.
year we had like, what is it, maybe 5 or 6 Dutch guys, you know, and there was like 20, 30, 40, 50 maybe French guys. So it's like I had to go against someone who had the crowd, like most of the crowd with him. So, and you could hear that with
I
every single
see.
technique he did. It was like, wow, the whole crowd went nuts, and you just have to like stay focused and hope the judges will listen through the sound the audience makes. Yeah.
So, what's the atmosphere like in Europe compared to the American beatbox scene in your eyes?
Ooh, I that's a feeling I have. I feel like it might be more competitive, but you have to tell me if I'm wrong. Like more competitive in the states. Like I feel like they're more like islands there. I feel like
Yeah.
the European scene might be more, but it's like it's just generalization, anyways. But I feel like we would share more easily. Is that something you encountered?
I mean, I guess out in America, there's like small pockets of beatboxers. Like I'm in New York, and there I've only met like four
Mm.
beatboxers from New York specifically, and the rest of them are like just all scattered everywhere. So like American Champs is really where the the big event that we all get together at, and even then it's still hard to find like the pockets because on the west side there's a whole different scene than the east side, and it's definitely a big difference. And I've noticed that at the GBB battles in Europe, there's the place is packed. It's huge there. And at American Champs, there was only like a couple hundred people, which it's a big difference.
Mm.
So the energy, I guess it's more humble in America, but on stage, it definitely gets pretty competitive.
Yeah, I see. I see. I like that. I think also things like I like the shit talk that I see in American
Yeah,
battles a lot. Yeah.
definitely. I like the energy that we put into it. Like Inertia when he showed up to the American Champs, he came to win, and he definitely made that clear. He didn't take the title, but he was very cocky when he showed up, telling everyone that he's got this in the bag.
Who that was Fukuda who won? Was it last
Um,
year?
I I'm not quite sure who won last year. I know this year, Napalm took the Founders tournament. Inertia and Hershey took the tag team, and I think Pono took the solos.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah, it was definitely a pretty good battle. I think it came down to Den versus Pono in the finals, and
Nice.
I think the reason Den didn't take Pono is because he had his a bunch of songs that we had heard before, and Pono was kind of just throwing off a bunch of wild techniques, and I
Mm.
feel like that's why he took it.
I'd love to hear Dan live because he killed it
Yeah,
in the. Yeah, I thought he would win the entire competition. It's that his is just also such a crazy guy, but yeah,
yeah.
that.
So when did you start releasing your routines onto Spotify?
Ooh, I think I saw that. I'm not sure what year it was, but it. I saw that Start Over did really well on YouTube, and I was like, I'm dumb if I don't put this on Spotify too. And it's still my best listened track still to date. But yeah, it was maybe. Is it 5 years ago? Is that a lot? I don't know. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. What made you want to put them on Spotify? Because were was other beatboxers putting their routines out there too, or
I think barely. There were a couple of things from Korean effects um, out there, but not a lot. And yeah, but I wanted to put "Start Over" that song. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds. It's really short, but yeah, I wanted to put that out.
yeah. So did you when you structure a routine, what do you do to put work into that? Like you've got so many routines out now. When you come up with a new one, what's your strategy to put it together?
The more routines I have to make, like if I go to a competition and I need like a couple more routines, the I you need to work fast because it's hard to make like an original full on original new routine. So I
Yeah.
would like to use I want to have a starting point. So if I have a starting point, I can go somewhere. So or like I usually start listening to a lot of music, like really original music, and then find something I really like, and then I try to start beatboxing it in a way that it sounds good, and then I try to or copy some of it, or make something completely new, complete new build up, or and I would usually just like use like some of us like a skeleton, like I would find a BPM, and then I would take I want to have like an intro or like and then a build up to create tension, and then it has to like make the drop has to release the tension in the right way in order to hit well. But yeah, that's kind of how I do it. I listen to a lot of tracks, and I wait for something to inspire me. Usually I just skip through Spotify and I see what Spotify suggests, and then I go to next one. I'm like, oh, okay, this is really good, and then yeah, I make it a routine.
So when you structure a routine, do you follow like the cookie cutter standard where you intro, build up, drop, breakdown, build up, drop, outro?
Yeah.
Is that like your standard?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because it works really well. I can usually that's what I tell to my students too. When a routine doesn't work, I can usually go back to the skeleton and see what lacked. Sometimes they just do an intro without a build up and they drop it, and it just is not satisfying, even though the drop is really nice. You know, it's just because they didn't build up any tension, and it's really easy to go back to see where it lacked. You know, sometimes the build up is more interesting or loud, more loud than the drop. The kicks and snares fall away. It's usually if you go away from the skeleton, it's sometimes you have to be good in order to make it work without a proper building of tension, and proper bridge.
So do you have any way of like writing down beatbox notation, or is it all just in your memory?
No, I have a terrible memory. My memory is really, really bad. I think that's the reason I have so much routines that I can't remember, probably, because I just forget all of my routines all the time.
I see.
So, and I'm always, after a battle, I'm always thinking back, like, I have this routine and that routine and that routine, and at the moment I can't think of it. So what I do is I write it down very phonetically, so the way you would pronounce a beat. So like would be like a PRR, you know, or like a would then be a PROR, for instance, you know. So just phonetically, and then I would connect it with a voice note, so it makes sense.
So in that way, when you write down a routine, is it easier for you to look back on and see and edit and make things better? Because me personally, whenever I go about it, I sit down and record myself with 2 drops that I pick, and then try and make it sound better over the course of like 12 takes, and then usually I'll find a final draft that I like. Do you do a similar method, or?
Oh, I never have that I have to choose between 2 drops, because it's really obvious that one just fits so much better. But I do make a recording, and then I'll change something and I make another recording, and then I'll have the name of the song, and then version 2, version 3, but then sometimes I have like 30 versions, and it's the last one that I need, so I'm like having to scroll all the way back. But I have like tons of versions of the same thing, and I keep like kind of improving upon the same thing in a similar way. Yeah.
I see. So when you're making routines, is it like strictly for battling, or do you have routines that you've made just as songs that you enjoy doing?
Yeah, all the routines that I did for the BBU, I did I did like a completely different way, but I made them just to sound good and sound interesting. I I recorded most of them in the studio, and then I was like, okay, I can just like add a hi-hat there, add a kick there. It would sound interesting if I do this, and I could really cherry pick like how I wanted the song to be, and then afterwards I had to beatbox the entire thing. So it's that was the backwards way of creating a song, like a producer almost, and then beatboxing the entire track. So that was super interesting, but those were mainly for listening purposes, and yeah, for the battle, obviously. I kind of want to make in a similar way just songs that just sound really good, because the BBU also you had to battle and have like battle moves, and you get less points if you don't put them in your routine.
Yeah.
And they obviously make your routine like uglier in a way.
Yeah. Have you seen any unsportsmanlike conduct in the beatbox scene?
What do you mean?
Yeah, like someone who maybe just gets really upset that they lost a battle, or just like super cocky when they get out there.
I mean, it happens.
Not
Sorry?
have I'm not like specific names, but just in general, have you seen that kind of behavior?
Yeah,
Like,
not too much though. It barely happens. I see people like, I'm also thinking back about the last two battles that I judged, one in Denmark, one in Spain. I mean, there were some guys that were sad they lost because but not in a toxic way, I would say. But
I see.
I mean, it happens, but usually at the like bigger competitions this happens, but like at local or national events, I don't see it much.
Yeah. I personally haven't seen it, so I figured I'd just see if you had any experiences with it. Do you have any opinions on the current state of the beatbox community?
Do you mean whatever happened the last couple of years?
I mean, like, where it is now, like, maybe not in terms of controversy or anything, but do you think that it's heading in the right direction, or do you think that there's some things that need to be worked out?
I think there's a lot of like the community, like GBB, and like GBB is like the main one of the main events right now that people work towards, and I love to see GBB, because I think that's what GBB should be for, to create a place where artists make like a solo performance that you can actually sell outside of GBB to festivals, and to make it your profession, like completely. Like GBB makes professionals. That's kind of what I would like to see more. So right now it's you make a 1 minute 30 wildcard for a 4-minute show, and then you do battles again for 1 minute 30. And to me, I think we can make that more like, or have like bigger shows, or like have separate shows, make it actually a showcase battle, because right now they call themselves a showcase battle, but it's not really a showcase battle. So I hope to see that change, or to have like a battle part and the show part, where people can change the lighting, the lighting of your show. Imagine you come on stage and you're like, and then the lights just like blink, and you can make an entire show just like a one-man show with a lot of cool things. And that's a show that you can actually take with you. The whole thing is filmed in front of like a really cool audience, and you can sell to other to a booker or something. That's what I like to see, because it's and I think it will take some years, but I think we're already in like a transition period. I think a lot of things will change. Like it's not like it used to be. So I think it's good. It's like like a caterpillar, becoming a butterfly.
Definitely. Where do you see it in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I think it'll it might take longer than 5 years. I'm really excited to see what is happening right now in Japan. I hope there will be more organizers that see the value in beatbox and try their own thing next to GBB, because I'm talking about GBB right now, but I hope there will be more people that want to organize and have the the funds to make big battles or big competitions or festivals where beatboxers can compete but also earn money. And it would be really dope if battling becomes something that that makes money for them, you know, to
Yeah.
so like, yeah, you can be a professional beatbox battler, like that would be your profession. That'd be really sick. So like in 5 years, I don't know, I think in 10 years maybe. Yeah.
So, have you thought about organizing any events yourself?
I organized 2 events, and one of them was a beatbox battle, just a small local beatbox battle, and the other one was one where beatboxers got combined with instrumentalists, and they had to do a freestyle battle, and that was really cool. But I hate organizing, so I it might be the last thing I organize. I love to connect people, but I'm way too scatterbrained to organize anything. So
Definitely.
so yeah, I love the process, but yeah, it's too much for me. But I can always help out with connecting people. But yeah, organizing is is crazy for me.
Yeah. So, what do you do to keep creating engaging songs that continue to evolve? Because it feels like a lot of beatboxers will like reach their max point and they don't keep mixing it up. I've seen it happen a couple times. What do you do for to keep your tracks engaging so that it doesn't sound like you're doing the same stuff?
I think what helps is that I think that it can always be better. It's usually when I listen, some tracks I like, but a lot of what I put out, I'm like, oh my god, this can be so much better, and that's a good feeling. Then you want to kind of evolve and make stuff that you actually like more. So yeah, I think all the tracks can be leveled up so much, also production wise, also mixing and mastering wise. So so yeah, that's a good one. I think just not being satisfied is a good thing.
I see. So, what performances have you done outside of battling? Like, do you go put on shows for people, or is it strictly beatbox battling?
No, so yeah, I do performances. Not too many right now after COVID. It happens sometimes, maybe a couple of times a year. Mostly I'm teaching, but I do
Yeah.
perform. It does happen.
So, do you when do people just reach out to you to perform, or do you go and find gigs yourself?
Yeah, so it's or they find me, or they find my management, or my management finds the performances. So that happens. But I perform a lot in front of schools, though. But that's usually part of the workshops that I give. So I do an entire day of workshops, and then in the beginning of the workshops I perform for a school. But I don't really see that as a performance, but it is a performance.
I see. So, why do you go to schools and beatbox? Is it just about like educating the youth on the culture, or or is it like a bigger thing? Because I know beatbox education, they want to do a similar thing where schools are like cutting funding to music programs, and beatboxing is free to learn. So
Yeah,
I
yeah, it's I kind of rolled into it. I started giving one or two workshops as a substitute for someone else, and then they kept asking me to give the workshops. Maybe because it's kind of fun for them to also see someone who's a beatbox battler, and someone who does beatbox for so long, and shows them what you can do with your face, which is really funny.
yeah,
But yeah, and I like it a lot. I think because it's for new beatboxers, so it's like a newbie workshop basically. But the classes are always different. So I give the exact same workshop, but the classes are different, and I love the interaction with the kids. Yeah.
I see. Is there any like new competition coming up that surprised you? Because I know beatboxing for this long, you've probably seen it all.
I keep being surprised, especially with the loop station. The new loop station can do so much new things the beatbox, the beatbox will always amaze me, and there will be new sounds and new routines that will inspire me. But the loop station, and for the last couple events I was like, there's so much things you can do with it, and I have one, and like I have no clue how some people get the sounds out of there that they can out of the machine. So that's so much fun right now. It's getting crazier and crazier.
So, what do you think beatboxing has done for you personally?
I mean, it's pretty much as stupid as that. It's pretty much everything, because I make my living out of beatbox. I made a lot of friends all over the world from beatbox. It's been a huge confident boost for me to be performing, to speak openly, because I was an enormous introvert, and helped me to express myself more. So I think I think most of what I do right now, is because of beatbox.
I see. What drives you to keep beatboxing? Because I mean, obviously, if it's you make a living off of it and stuff, but was there like a moment you realized that you wanted to do this forever?
Yeah, but I was always kind of too scared, because I'm not sure how it's in the United States, but like if you say like you want to be a beatboxer, they like your parents would be like, don't do it. That's a terrible odds, you know. And I would always be scared to not be able to do it. I mean, it's not the easiest choice. Obviously, you need to go at it like fully, but it's like it's not the same thing as being a battler. You don't have to be a crazy battler to make some money. So it's a completely different thing.
Definitely. So, do you have any upcoming projects you're working on that you can talk about?
Yes, I'm doing the theater thing, which I'm really excited about. We're doing really I'm really excited to do the theater thing. It's with two percussionists, one from Spain, one from Russia, and it's just the three of us, and they're like really crazy percussionists, and I'm a beatboxer. So we're doing this project where we're gonna do a tour in the Netherlands from next year, which I'm really excited about. And that's mostly it for now. I want to make more music, but yeah, that's on hold for now.
How do you combine like percussion and beatboxing?
Yeah, that's a really
like what goes.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
What goes into it?
It's we're basically doing these already written long pieces that are percussion. It's like percussion is can be melodical on the like it's like xylophone in English, like a marimba. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
And also like drums, but we're doing like really really crazy. It's funny. It's a kids show, and it's 8+, but we're doing really difficult to do stuff. So like all of it is in like 5 and 7. I have no clue why, but it's really interesting and hard to learn as a beatboxer. So they have it all written down, and I can't read scores, so I have to put beatbox notes. But yeah, it's like we're trying to combine like to do a lot of things at the same time, and mixing it up. It's super interesting, but I don't know how to explain more.
Solid. Yeah. So I guess we could start closing this up. Would you mind if I got a quick freestyle?
No, let's go.
Just to show these people what's up.
Yeah. All right, freestyle. Here we go.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
That was fire. Well, do you have any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
No, would you like to do a freestyle?
I can do a freestyle
Let's
if you
go.
want.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you too. This is fun.
Definitely. Well, thanks for coming on, and I guess this has been Highly Intelligent with B Art. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys later.